You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're just stuck, and your brain is the one keeping you there. Let me prove it. You ever wake up and feel that quiet dread? Not pain, not panic, just a soft, dead weight pressing on your chest. Like, this again? That's not your life calling. That's your life warning you. This isn't it. In this episode, we're talking about that stuck feeling and how to break free from it. You'll understand your brain's role, reframe fear, and walk away with a dead simple strategy to get moving today. No hype, just real action. All right, can we just stop pretending for a minute? Seriously, let's stop pretending that feeling stuck is just some minor inconvenience, like a traffic jam or a rainy day. It's not just annoying, it's exhausting. I'm talking about that deep in your bones tired, the kind where you wake up, even after 8 hours of sleep, and you already feel depleted before your feet even hit the floor. You know what I mean? You push through the day on autopilot. You nod in meetings, maybe even crack a joke, but inside, you're somewhere else entirely. You put on the smile, you say the right things at dinner, maybe even with your closest friends, but it feels like you're wearing a costume. You're faking it. And faking it takes so much energy. You tell yourself, oh, it's just a phase, or it's just a rough patch, or work is just work, right? You try to rationalize it, minimize it. But deep down in that quiet place you try to ignore, you know exactly what it is. It's the feeling of your potential, your unique brilliance, just sitting there, gathering dust, like a beautiful instrument locked in a case, never played. And you can feel it every single day. It's a low hum of dissatisfaction, a constant reminder that you are capable of more, meant for more, built for more than this. And then you pick up your phone, you scroll, you see someone else launching their dream project, traveling somewhere amazing, looking genuinely alive in their work, and instead of feeling inspired, that familiar knot tightens in your stomach. You don't feel happy for them. You feel behind. You feel invisible. Like everyone else got the memo on how to live a fulfilling life, and yours got lost in the mail. And that question echoes in your head, doesn't it? Why not me? Why does it seem so easy for them and so damn hard for you? That comparison spiral? It just digs the hole deeper, leaving you feeling even more drained, more frustrated, more stuck than before. Okay, stop right there. Take a breath. Because here's where we need to flip the script. That feeling you can't shake. The exhaustion, the frustration, the feeling of being behind. That is not weakness. Please hear me on this. It is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is critical, essential feedback. Your feelings are your internal guidance system. They are messengers trying to get your attention. That heavy, stuck feeling, it's a signal flare going off saying, hey, pay attention. Something here is out of alignment. This situation, this path, this way of operating, it's not serving you anymore. For too long, we've been taught to judge ourselves when we feel this way. We think, what's wrong with me? Why can't I just be happy? Why am I not motivated? We turn inwards with criticism. But you are not broken. Let me say that again. You are not broken. You are simply misaligned. There's a world of difference between those two things. Broken means something needs fixing within you. Misaligned means the circumstances around you are not a true fit for who you are and what you need. Broken leads to judgment. Misaligned leads to curiosity. Once you understand the difference, that this feeling is about misalignment, not brokenness, everything changes. You can finally stop beating yourself up. You can drop the judgment and start listening. Listening to what that exhaustion is telling you. Listening to what that frustration is pointing towards. Listening to what that feeling of stuck is asking you to change. It shifts you from being your own worst critic to becoming your own detective, searching for clues about what needs to shift. And let's go even deeper for a second, because this is crucial. This isn't just about your job title or your daily tasks. It's about who you believe you are, because the longer you stay in a situation that feels stuck, the more your brain, that powerful pattern-making machine, starts to adapt. It starts to normalize the feeling. It starts to believe that stuck isn't just a temporary state. It starts to weave it into your identity. You start thinking, maybe I'm just not ambitious. Maybe I'm just not cut out for success. Maybe this is just who I am. Someone who settles. Someone who plays small. That's the real danger of prolonged stagnation. It doesn't just stall your progress, it starts to shrink your perception of yourself. But here's the truth. The absolute, fundamental truth I need you to grab onto right now. And you're going to hear this from me again and again. Stuck isn't who you are. It's not your identity. It's not your destiny. It's not a life sentence. Stuck is where you are. It's a location. It's a circumstance. And most importantly, stuck is where you begin. It's the starting line for change. It's the signal that prompts the pivot. It's the discomfort that fuels the search for something better, something more aligned, something that makes you feel alive again. That feeling you hate right now? That's the launching pad. Don't let your brain convince you it's the finish line. It's the beginning. Your beginning starts now. All right, let's pull back the curtain on something really important. Your own brain. We think it's always on our side, cheering for our success, pushing us towards our dreams. But here's a hard truth you need to understand. Your brain's top priority isn't your success. It's not your happiness. It's not your fulfillment. Its number one job? Survival. Full stop. And what does survival mean in the brain's ancient hardwired playbook? It means keeping you safe. And safe to your brain means predictable. It means minimizing risk. It means avoiding the unknown. It does not mean chasing growth. It does not mean taking leaps of faith. It often means staying exactly where you are, even if where you are kinda sucks. Think about that. Your brain will literally fight to keep you stuck in a job you hate simply because it's familiar. It will keep you locked in a cycle you loathe, procrastination, self-doubt, whatever it is, because that cycle is a known quantity. It will keep you confined in a version of yourself that feels outdated, that doesn't fit anymore, because changing who you are feels fundamentally risky to your core programming. Why? Because to your brain, there's a very simple equation running 24/7. Familiar equals safe. Unfamiliar equals danger. It doesn't care if the familiar is making you miserable. It only cares that it knows what to expect. The misery is predictable. The potential joy on the other side of change? That's unpredictable. And unpredictable lights up the brain's warning signals like a Christmas tree. That's why the moment you start to seriously imagine something different, the second you think, maybe I could start that side hustle, or what if I actually applied for that other role, or I should really learn that new skill. Bam! What happens? Your mind floods you with static. Hesitation washes over you. Doubt whispers poison in your ear. A million perfectly logical-sounding excuses pop up out of nowhere. I don't have time. I don't have the money. I'm not qualified enough. What if I fail? It's probably not going to work anyway. Sound familiar? That's not a coincidence. That is your brain's built-in alarm system going off, trying desperately to pull you back from the perceived danger of the unknown, back to the safety of the familiar, even if the familiar is holding you back. And here's the critical piece I need you to absorb. This internal resistance, this flood of doubt and excuses, it is not you being weak. It's not a character flaw. It's not a lack of willpower. It is your brain doing the exact job it was designed to do, protect you from perceived threats. Understanding this is a game changer because it allows you to stop blaming yourself and start recognizing the pattern for what it is. Biology in action. There's actually a name for this tendency, this powerful force that keeps us stuck even when we desperately want to change. It's mental inertia. Just like in physics, where an object at rest tends to stay at rest, your mind and your habits tend to stay exactly as they are, following the path of least resistance, unless an outside force acts upon you. You feel that inertia every time you know you should do something. Update your resume, make that call, start that project, but you just don't. You stay stuck on the couch, stuck scrolling, stuck in the familiar pattern of inaction. That's inertia holding you captive. But here's the kicker. Here's the part that puts the power right back in your hands. That outside force, the one strong enough to overcome the inertia, to break the pattern, to push you off the starting block, that outside force is you. It's your conscious choice. It's your deliberate action. Every single time you choose to move, even slightly, against that tide of resistance, you become the force. You interrupt the pattern. And here's what happens when you move. You generate evidence. When you actually open the laptop, make the call, write the first sentence, you prove to your brain, see, I did the scary thing. I didn't die. It was possible. That action, no matter how small, creates a new feedback loop. It starts to rewire the pathway. You literally change your trajectory with every single step. It might feel insignificant at first, like nudging a giant boulder just a millimeter. But you nudge it again, and again. And eventually, that tiny movement starts to build. That initial difficult motion becomes momentum. Listen, the first time you push against that inertia, it's going to feel like a fight. It takes grit. It takes conscious effort to override those screaming alarm bells in your head. You might have to force yourself. But the next time, it's a little different. You've done it once. You have the evidence. It still requires effort, but now it feels more like a choice. You know you can push through, so you choose to do it again. And the third time? And the time after that? As you keep choosing action over inaction, as you keep proving to yourself that you are stronger than your excuses, that feeling starts to shift again. It no longer feels like a fight or just a choice. It starts to feel like power. The power to direct your own life. The power to overcome your brain's default settings. The power to build momentum towards the things you actually want. It all starts with understanding the inertia and then choosing deliberately to be the force that overcomes it. One small, intentional movement at a time. That's how you go from stuck to unstoppable. Now, let's get real for another minute. Let's talk about those two feelings that hijack your brain and slam the brakes on your life: fear and frustration. You know what I'm talking about, right? That knot in your stomach when you think about making that call, asking for that raise, starting that thing you can't stop dreaming about. That's fear showing up. And what do most people do? What have you been taught to do? You feel fear, and you think it means stop, retreat, back away, play small, don't rock the boat. It's a warning sign, right? Wrong. I want you to hear this loud and clear. I want you to burn this into your brain. Fear is a compass. Say it with me in your head. Fear is my compass. Think about it. When does fear really show up? Does it show up when you're coasting? When you're doing the same old, same old? When you're watching reruns on the couch? No. Fear shows up when something matters. Fear shows up when there's something at stake. Fear shows up when you are pushing yourself, when you are on the edge of something new, something bigger. That nervous energy, that flutter in your chest, that sweaty palm feeling, That's not your body saying, "Danger, Will Robinson." That's your body's way of screaming at you. Wake up. Pay attention. This could change things. This matters. It's your internal GPS saying, recalculating route, potential upgrade ahead. It's energy. It's fuel. It's telling you you're alive and you're pushing the boundaries of your comfort zone. So, what about its annoying cousin, frustration? Frustration. That feeling like you're spinning your wheels, like you're banging your head against a wall. That simmering irritation that just won't go away. Most people treat frustration like a sign they should just give up. See? It's not working. I knew it was a dumb idea. Sound familiar? Listen, frustration isn't a stop sign either. Frustration is a flare shooting up into the sky. It's a giant, blinking red light on your internal dashboard. And what is it signaling? It's signaling that you are out of alignment. That's it. Simple. You're pushing for something or stuck in something that isn't right for you anymore. Your effort isn't matching the results because the direction is off. Or maybe the method is off. Or maybe the situation you're tolerating has just run its course. Your soul, your gut, your inner wisdom, whatever you want to call it, is getting pissed off. It's saying, hey, this isn't it. This isn't working. We need a change. So here's the deal. You have to change your relationship with these emotions. Right now. Today. Stop dismissing them. Stop pushing them down, ignoring them, numbing them out with scrolling or shopping or snacking or whatever your go-to avoidance tactic is. And start decoding them. Get curious. When fear shows up, don't run. Stop. Breathe. Ask yourself, okay, fear, I see you. What are you really pointing towards? What matters so much right now that you had to show up? Is it a sign I need to prepare more? Is it highlighting a desire I haven't admitted? What's the message underneath the noise? And when frustration hits, don't just complain or quit. Stop. Ask, all right, frustration. What's out of alignment here? What needs to change? Am I aiming at the wrong target? Am I using the wrong strategy? Have I simply outgrown this situation? Because here's the absolute truth you need to grab onto. Fear doesn't mean you're wrong. It often means you're close to the edge, close to the breakthrough, close to the thing that could change your damn life. And frustration isn't a signal that you failed. It's a signal that you are ready for more. Your spirit has outgrown its current container. You're ready to level up, to demand better, to create something different. Fear is your compass pointing towards growth. Frustration is the flare showing you where alignment needs to happen. These aren't enemies to be avoided. They are messengers. They are guides. They are FUEL. Stop letting fear and frustration paralyze you. Start using them as the powerful tools they are. Decode the message. Use the energy. Let them guide you. Because the path to everything you want is often hidden right behind the things that scare you the most. Now, what are you going to do about it? All right, let's talk about the momentum killer. The thing that stops more dreams, more progress, more everything dead in its tracks than almost anything else. It happens every single day, probably dozens of times. You get an idea, a spark, an impulse, a little nudge from the universe, whatever you want to call it. That thought that pops into your head. I should really reach out to Sarah. I should look up that course. Ooh, I should write that idea down. I should Google how to do that thing. I should start that document right now while I'm thinking about it. You feel it, right? That little flicker of energy, that moment of clarity, that's potential knocking on your door. But here's the brutal truth, the one you need to understand if you want to change anything in your life. There is a window, and it is tiny. Some researchers say it's 5 seconds, maybe 10. Doesn't matter the exact number. What matters is that it's short, it's fragile, and in that tiny window, you have a choice. You either move or the moment dies. The spark fizzles out, the energy evaporates. And what do most of us do? 99% of the time? We hesitate. Oh, I'll do it later. I need to think about how to phrase that text first. I don't have time right now. Maybe it's a dumb idea. What if they say no? I'll add it to my to-do list, which we all know is where good intentions go to die. Sound familiar? Of course, it does. We all do it. That hesitation, that's the killer. That's your brain's defense mechanism kicking in, trying to keep you safe in your comfort zone, trying to avoid potential risk or effort or awkwardness. It floods your system with doubt, excuses, overthinking, and poof, the idea is gone. The energy is flat. The connection is missed. The opportunity vanishes. You're right back where you started, stuck in inertia. You have trained yourself, habituated yourself to hesitate. You have a habit of letting those crucial moments slip through your fingers. So, what's the fix? It's so simple. It's almost stupid, but it works. You have got to interrupt the pattern. The nanosecond you have the idea, the impulse, the I should, you act. Immediately, physically. The thought is, I should message them? Pick up the phone and type, hey. You don't even have to finish it yet. Just start. The thought is, I should look into that program. Open a browser tab and type the name. Hit search. The thought is, I should start that document. Open a new doc and type one sentence, or just the title. The thought is, I should speak up in this meeting. Unmute yourself. Lean forward. Physically prepare to speak. You move, text, type, search, speak, stand up, walk across the room, scribble it on a napkin, do something. This isn't about perfect action. Get that out of your head. Perfectionism is just fear dressed up in fancy clothes. This is about motion. This is about breaking the freeze response. Every time you have an idea and you hesitate, you strengthen the hesitation loop. You deepen the rut of inaction. But every time you have an idea, that spark, and you take immediate micro action, you override the loop. You short-circuit the hesitation. You tell your brain, nope, we're not debating this one. We're doing this. Even if it's just the tiniest possible step, that one shift, that discipline to act, physically act, while the idea is still alive, still hot, still has that energy, that is the beginning of your transformation. It's how you build momentum. It's how you turn intentions into reality. It's how you train yourself to be someone who does things instead of just thinking about things. You take one micro action, then another, then another. You prove to yourself, one tiny movement at a time, that you can break inertia, that you are in control. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting until you feel ready. Stop letting hesitation steal your ideas and your potential. The second you think it, move. Take one small physical step. Interrupt the pattern. That's it. That's the secret weapon against inertia. Use it. Starting now. What idea just popped into your head? All right, let's tackle something huge, something everybody chases, waits for, wishes they had more of. Confidence. We talk about it all the time, right? If only I were more confident. I just need to find my confidence. Let me tell you something right now, and I need you to really hear this. You've got it completely backwards. Completely. Confidence isn't a starting point. It is not step one. It's not something you magically find under a rock or wake up with one morning after drinking some special unicorn smoothie. Confidence is a result. It's the outcome. It's the feeling you get after you've done the work. It's the trophy you get at the end of the race, not the requirement to enter it. Most people operate on this totally flawed equation. Once I feel confident, then I'll do the scary thing. Once I am confident, then I'll ask for what I want. Once I have confidence, then I'll put myself out there. That's backwards. That's waiting for permission that's never going to come. That's waiting for a feeling that only shows up after you act. Here's the truth. Here's the equation that actually works. Once I do the thing, especially while I'm scared, then I will become confident. Read my lips. Action first. Confidence follows. Always. And let me tell you where real, rock-solid confidence is actually built. It's not built when things are easy. It's not built when everyone's cheering you on. Confidence is built in silence. Confidence is built when it's awkward. Confidence is built when you feel like an imposter. It's built when you're typing that email you're dreading, your stomach in knots, but you hit send anyway. It's built when you make that shaky first phone call, your voice cracking, but you push through the fear and say what you need to say. It's built when you show up to the gym, to the networking event, to work on your project, when you feel terrified and no one is clapping yet, when maybe you barely even believe in yourself yet. That is where confidence is forged. In the messy middle. In the moments you want to retreat, but you choose to advance, even just one tiny inch. Why? Because every single time you do something hard, something scary, something uncertain, you are collecting evidence. You're gathering proof. Proof that you can handle it. Proof that you won't spontaneously combust if you speak up. Proof that you can survive making a mistake. Proof that you are capable of figuring things out. And this evidence? It's like data. Your brain is constantly running a story about who you are and what you're capable of. When you hesitate, when you retreat, you feed the story that says, "See, I can't handle this. I'm not cut out for it." But when you act, especially when you act despite the fear, you feed your brain new evidence. You start sending it data that says, "Wait a minute, I did survive that. I did manage to speak up. Wow, I am someone who tries hard things." And slowly, brick by brick, action by action, your brain starts to update its story about who you are. The feeling of confidence starts to grow, not because you wished for it, but because you demonstrated it through your actions. So please, please, stop waiting to feel confident. You'll be waiting forever. Confidence isn't found. It's not discovered. It is earned. And it is earned in motion. It's earned in the trying, in the doing, in the showing up, in the messy, imperfect, often terrifying action. Every tiny win, every awkward step forward builds the evidence that rewires your brain and creates the feeling you've been waiting for. So, what action, however small, can you take today that scares you a little? Go do that. That's your starting point. That's how you start building. Okay, we've talked about fear, frustration, taking action, building confidence. But there's one more piece, the foundation under it all. It's the story you've been telling yourself, maybe for years, maybe your entire life. You know the one I mean. That voice in your head, that tape that plays on repeat. Maybe your story sounds like this. I'm too old to start. It's too late for me. I missed my chance. I'm not smart enough, talented enough, creative enough. I don't have the right background, connections, degree. I'm just ordinary. This kind of stuff doesn't happen for people like me. Sound familiar? Ringing any bells back there? Yeah, I thought so. We all have versions of this narrative. But I need you to lean in right now. I need you to hear this with every cell in your body. I want you to understand this fundamental truth. That story, that is not truth. Let me say it again. The story that you are too old, too late, too ordinary, not enough, is not truth. You know what it is? It's repetition. That's it. It's a thought you've practiced thinking. A sentence you have repeated so many damn times that your brain has mistaken the echo for objective reality. You've worn a groove in your mind with that negative track, and now it feels permanent. But it's not. It's just a habit of thought, and habits can be broken. Habits can be replaced. So, here's the question I have for you. What if you started repeating something else? What if you consciously, deliberately, decided to interrupt that old, tired, limiting track and replace it with a new one? What if every time the "I'm too old" thought popped up, you drowned it out with "I am resourceful"? What if, instead of "I don't know how," you started repeating "I don't need to know it all to begin"? What if, instead of waiting for someone to pick you or approve you, your mantra became "I do not need a permission slip to grow"? Imagine the power of repeating those truths. Imagine wearing grooves in your brain with those messages. Because here's the most important thing you need to grasp right now. That story, the one you thought defined you, it isn't fixed. You are not a closed book. Your past is not your destiny unless you allow it to be. The narrative is not set in stone. You are the narrator. You are the editor. You hold the pen. You get to do the rewrite. You have the power right now, in this moment, to choose a different story, to focus on your strengths, your resourcefulness, your ability to learn and adapt. This isn't homework for later. This isn't something to maybe think about next week. The most important work you can do, rewriting that internal narrative, it begins now. With the very next thought you allow to take root. With the next sentence you say to yourself when things get hard. Stop repeating the lies. Start repeating the truth of your potential. Pick up the pen. Claim your power as the author of your life. The rewrite starts now. All right, enough talk. We've unpacked a lot today. Fear, frustration, confidence, rewriting your story. Your head might be spinning with possibilities, right? Maybe you're thinking about those big goals, those massive dreams you have. And maybe, just maybe, you're starting to feel that familiar sense of overwhelm. Yeah. You're picturing the whole damn mountain you want to climb. You're staring up at the summit, miles away, covered in clouds, and you're thinking, how the hell am I ever going to get up there? Stop. Stop doing that. Right now. Stop staring at the mountain. Looking at the whole massive thing is just going to paralyze you. It's too big. It's too much. It lets the fear and the doubt creep right back in. Forget the summit for a minute. Forget the 10-year plan. Forget everything except this one simple thing. Let's just take one step, not a leap, not a bound, not even a big stride. I want you to think right now, what is the teeniest, most ridiculously small, almost laughable action you could take today, maybe even in the next 5 minutes, towards one thing you want? What do I mean by tiny? I mean microscopic. Could you pull out your phone right now and draft a 3-line bio for that LinkedIn profile you keep meaning to update for that career change you dream about? Just 3 lines. Could you open Instagram or LinkedIn and DM one person in an industry you're curious about and just say, "Hi, admire your work." That's it. Hit send. Could you grab that book? You know the one? It's been sitting there unopened for a year, judging you silently. Could you grab it and read the first 100 words? Not the first chapter. 100 words. Could you Google one phone number you need to make that call you've been dreading? Just find the number. What is it for you? That tiny, tiny domino you could push over right now, find it in your mind. Got it? Okay, do it. Not later, not tomorrow, now. Before your brain has time to object, before that hesitation loop kicks in, before you talk yourself out of it. Why? Why this tiny, seemingly insignificant action? Because mountains aren't climbed in a single bound. They are climbed one small, steady step at a time. Your future, that amazing future you dream about, it isn't built in giant leaps planned for someday when everything is perfect. It is built in these micro moments. It's built with the tiny, courageous actions you take when no one's watching. It's built right now. Today. That one tiny move, that's you breaking inertia. That's you collecting evidence. That's you telling your brain, we're doing this. So figure it out fast. What's your first tiny move? Decide. And then, for the love of everything, do it. Start building your future, one micro moment at a time. Go. All right, bring it in close for this one. No more notes, no more theories. Just the straight-up truth before you walk out of this video here today. I need you to hear this loud and clear. Let it sink past your ears and into your bones. On this day, remember this. You are not your past. All the screw-ups, the missed chances, the things you wish you'd done differently, that's history. That is not you right now. You are not your job title, or your bank account, or the car you drive, or the label society puts on you. That's external stuff. That is not the core of who you are. You are not your delay. The years you think you wasted, the time you spent stuck, that's not a life sentence. It doesn't define your capacity now. So, who are you then? If you're not all those things you carry around, you are your next decision. That's it. That is where 100% of your power resides. Not in yesterday, not in someday, but in the choice you make right now, in the step you take next. And understand this fundamental principle. That door, the one to the life you want, the change you crave, it doesn't magically open when you finally feel ready. Readiness is a feeling you get after you start, not before. It opens when you act, despite not feeling ready. It opens when your desire to change becomes greater than your fear of it. So if you're sitting there feeling like you've fallen behind, like everyone else got the memo and you didn't, you're not behind. You're just beginning. Right here, right now. This moment is your starting line. Always. And that next version of you, the stronger one, the braver one, the one who's actually living the life you're dreaming about, they're not some distant fantasy. They're waiting for you, right on the other side of that very first tiny step we talked about just moments ago. Go take it. Go meet them.